broke up, you're not texting her, maybe you even deleted her number, and you think that because you're not texting her, because you're not reaching out to her, that you're actually doing no contact, but you're still checking her social media every day. You're still obsessively looking at every little sign that she could possibly show through her Insta stories or through her Snapchat that shows that she actually misses you, and you think that you're actually doing no contact. But the thing is, that's not true no contact. That's just emotional limbo that people call no contact. What keeps people in emotional limbo is the inability to detach. In other words, to go true no contact with your ex, because going no contact with them allows for a lot of flaws and allows you to mess up, and it will constantly tempt you months down the road. And you'll wonder why after 6, 7, 8 months, why you're not able to just detach from them. Okay, let's go into fake no contact. Fake no contact is simply this. You've stopped talking. You're not texting her. You're not reaching out. And that's good, don't get me wrong. But you're still chasing her, even if it's just emotionally. You have those shower arguments with her in your head. You replay the breakup constantly and you think, if I'd have only said this, if I'd have only handled it this way, things would have been different. And here's what you've got to understand. Usually, a breakup is caused not by one big thing. A breakup is caused by a million little things, right? It's the death by 1,000 cuts. It's not because you went out with your boys on Saturday night. It's not because you accidentally lied to her because she actually does look a little heavy in that dress. It's not because you ate the last of her raviolis that she was saving for her 3-year-old son. Okay, I'm gonna move on because we're getting too specific again. The point is, it's usually these small things. It becomes the straw that breaks the camel's back, if you will. And you thinking that you were gonna handle that last straw a little better might have bought you a few days, to be honest, but eventually it would have just ended the exact same way. So let's start here. Silence is not the same as detachment. You can go silent with your ex, but you can still hold on. Now, it's absolutely fine to hold on to hope. Hope that she reaches out one day, hope that things are eventually at least on friendly terms between you two. I think that's actually mature. There are several people in my life, and I'm not even talking about women, that I hope that one day me and some old friends can reconnect and that we could actually be civil with one another. But right now, he and I are in no contact, so we can't exactly reach out to each other until one of us, both of us, and of course we both think that the other one is the one that needs to grow up, right? It's part of life. You're gonna have people like that. And part of the problem is you're still reacting to her. You're still reactive to her emotional swings. So you're still watching all of her stories. You're still maybe even liking her posts, checking out her snaps, saving her snaps, or God help you if you are still in a snap streak with your ex. Because she knows that emotionally you are still reacting to her, even if you're not necessarily doing it physically. That's why when you view her story, yeah, she gets that free hit of validation, which is almost the same as you actually just sending a message to her. She also gets confirmation that you are still orbiting around her world. And as long as you're still orbiting, she knows that she's got you and she can reach out at any time, so why even hurry? In this way, she actually still controls your thoughts because you're still ruminating. You're still burdened by limerence and how the relationship ended. What eventually happens is that no contact feels like emotional bondage, and not the good kinky kind. It's the type of bondage that doesn't allow you to move on. It doesn't allow you to detach. But the thing is, you're the one putting yourself through it. You're the one subjecting yourself to this type of mental torture. And again, this is one of the biggest differences between no contact and true no contact. The most common mistakes men make when they go into no contact. And the first one is obvious. You're still watching all of her stories. You're still engaging with her as much as you possibly can without making it super obvious. I think you already know that. So we're going to move on to the next one. One of the biggest mistakes that I see guys make is they start posting for her and not for their own authenticity. So their account used to be all about, them. This is what they were doing, this is where they were going, what they had going on in their life, and now all of a sudden you're posting breakup poems and you're posting these sad quotes, and maybe even worse, you're posting gym selfies 2 days after you've broken up, and you're really trying to flex those muscles just to get her attention back. And it's like, man, she can see right through those. And I guarantee you, your other family members and or friends that are on your Instagram, they can see it too, man. Those things just come across as needy and desperate, even though you think they're having the opposite effect. Now look, 3-4 months down the line, when you are actually looking better, you've actually lost at least like 10 pounds, you've gained another couple of pounds of muscle, something like that, it's absolutely fine to share a gym selfie, something like that. But I know guys that will go to the gym, and God bless their little hearts, they dress up in their nice little suits, and They do something like that and they post every single day or damn near every single day. And they're just hoping that their ex looks, reacts, does something like that. And I feel a lot of pity for those guys because I know some of them personally and I want better for them. But like, I'm not gonna just give them unsolicited advice, right? The point is, be you. Be your authentic self. That means that you're posting patterns and that your content doesn't change. Hell, it might actually get a little bit better. Here's another one. Staying silent during no contact as a means to get her back. Now, it's true that this is actually the best way to get her back, don't get me wrong, but the point of the silence is to allow you to detach. Now, as I've said many, many times, detaching from her, from that dead relationship, and it is dead, brother, is not the same thing as giving up hope that she would ever return or that she would ever reach out to you again. Those are two very different things. But those things rarely happen when you expect them to. They rarely happen on your timeline. And guys will give a timeline to it. They'll say, well, if she doesn't reach out to me in a month, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 hours, depends on how insecure you are, to be honest, then that means she's over me, I'm over her, I'm blocking her, and I'm done. And it's like, you can go that route if you want. If you want to burn that bridge, go ahead. But I'm telling you right now, I have had exes reach out to me years later, and we reconnected, and it was great. As long as you two have grown into two different people, if later and in the future you want to take another swing at that with your ex, it's absolutely fine. Getting back with an ex is not even that big of a deal anymore. What's a big deal is when neither of you have grown as people and you think that you're going to jump into that same relationship, the one that failed, and you think we're going to do this all over again, but this time it's going to work because magic. I don't know if you know this, but that's not gonna work, okay? You've got to be different people, better people, more compatible people. And therein lies a big problem, is that you're gonna find out that maybe you're not the most compatible. Maybe you get on her nerves and she gets on your nerves way more than the average person does. And you're mistaking those dopamine hits for love because love causes dopamine, but you think that because you get dopamine from this, it must be love, but you're confusing the cause for the effect, which is how people get stuck in loops years and years and years and years, convincing themselves that they're secretly in love with their ex when all it really is a trauma bond. That's another video, but there you go. Women can sense when you haven't let go. It's like they can sense when you're just waiting, when you're just playing your little tactical silent game. Here's how you know you're playing it wrong. When you know in your head, hey, it's been a month since we last talked. If you are keeping a mental count of how long it's been since no contact, you're not detaching. Now, I'm not saying that it's necessarily unhealthy. I'm not saying that at all. But there does come a time where you've got to let go of those things, where you just need to let it go in your mind of, I don't know how long it's been since we haven't talked. I could look it up, sure, but I honestly don't know how long it's been. Maybe a month or two, whatever. Another one is you're looking for signs that she misses you. This is what really prompts guys to stalk an ex's profile, because even if it's been a few weeks or a few months, you want some kind of sign that she's still thinking about you, that actually she's the one maybe stalking your profile or something like that. And of course we want that. I mean, our ego would love that, right? The problem with that is that we often find things that upset us even more, and it makes us spiral even harder, feel even worse. So that's why I tell guys, look, for at least 2 weeks after that breakup, you've got to stay off her social media completely. Don't check it, don't look at anything, don't check her stories, don't like her posts. 2 weeks, detach from that totally, and I promise you, you'll feel a lot better. And then if you want, check her profile like once a week max. Because like I said, why you're really checking her profile is you're trying to find some sign that she's either unhappy with her new man or she's secretly missing you. And brother, what I mean to tell you is that you don't need either one of those things to move on with your life. That's what comes from having mental strength, is saying, I don't care how happy you are with your ex. As a matter of fact, I hope he's better than me. I hope he treats you better. I'm moving on, and I hope you do the same. Even if you want her back, even if you secretly are still in love with her, you do not leak. Here's one that is painfully obvious that I don't think gets talked about enough. Guys like to act like they don't care at all about their ex or what they're doing when they secretly stalk her profile still. These are the guys that, like, I'll bring up with my friends. I'll say, hey, how you been, man? It's been a couple weeks. What have you been up to? And I'll ask, oh, how are things with you and so? And they say, whatever, I don't even care. And it's like, I'm sure you don't. You're getting upset over absolutely nothing, right? It's a Freudian slip to see them get so upset by just the mention of their name. I don't know who you're trying to fool, but if I can see through that, the rest of your friends, and especially her, she can see through that too. This stems from having enough balls to be honest with yourself and admit, yes, I still have feelings for her, but how does the saying go? I'd rather cut off my hand than reach for you again. That is a masculine stance. That is how a man handles his emotions. First step is honesty, and most men can't even do that. All right, let's get into true no contact and what that means. It's not just removing contact. It's not just deleting her number, and I don't teach to block unless you are 100% done and truly wish to never hear from this person again, and you're not using that block as a means to secretly get her to reach out, which if you're honest, there's a lot of guys that do that. It's not just removing contact with her. It's removing your emotional dependence. A good sign of you moving on healthily is when you wake up in the morning and not only is she not the first thought in your head, because she shouldn't be anyway, you should be so busy that the first thing you check in the morning is your account balance. And I mean that seriously. Checking if my transfers have gone through, checking to see if I've made any additional sales, and watching my bank account balance climb a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And I promise you, I still wake up to texts from girls, but they are all second compared to me checking my bank balance. And I'm not trying to brag here, okay, because I'm not rich. That feeling is so far above and beyond whatever woman I'm interested in that month that I cannot tell them that because it would hurt their feelings, okay? It's when you wake up in the morning and you forget that you were ever broken up. It's you forgetting to even remember that she didn't text you, that you guys are actually not talking anymore. When you start to get days like that, and they happen sporadically throughout the breakup process, you know that you're starting to detach from her, and that's very healthy. Think of it like you're not pulling away from her. You're just pulling back to yourself. Your focus is becoming on you again in your life, which is what it should have been in the first place, which is probably part of the reason that led to that breakup in the first place. So here are some more signs that you're emotionally detaching in a healthy way. When you can look at her Instagram profile or just see her profile pic, hear her name being mentioned, and there's no more prick in your heart. There's no more scratching of your internal nervous system that says, hey, fight or flight. You know what I mean? It's whenever your friends, your parents, whoever can bring them up in a conversation and you're just fine. You don't feel anything anymore. It's like you stopped needing closure with them because you gave yourself the closure you didn't get. And again, this comes back to the main point. Your actions, your goals, your dreams should not be and cannot be shaped by that woman. Here's what I think the biggest sign that you've emotionally detached from her is. It's when you stop watching her movements, her profile, not because you're trying to fight it, right? Not because you're trying to detach, but whenever you've legitimately just forgot to. When you're so busy with yourself and your life that you honestly did just forget to even check. That power shift comes from you learning not to react and learning to redirect. And this comes back to your masculine energy. Masculine energy at its core is not reactive. It's not responsive to anything that's going on in your world. Masculine energy is calm, it's confident, and it's forward facing, it's movement, but it's not reaction. It's I'm going to do this regardless of what everybody else does around me. True no contact is silent. Yes, but it's not performative. It's not spiteful. It's not angry. It's just peaceful. No matter what she does, no matter if she blocks you or unblocks you or does it repeatedly in a day, if she posts angry memes about you or these angry things about you, none of that matters. None of that's going to get a reaction from you because A, you're not even watching her profile. B, if she wants to come back into your life, she has to do it in a way that is submissive, that is respectful, and honestly, she only has a limited amount of time before you move on to somebody else. And you're not necessarily trying to do that in an unhealthy way, you know, like a rebound or something. You're just detaching, you're just moving on. You're going to take some time to get over her, and you're going to go on with somebody else. And she has until you detach from her completely to make amends and to get things right. Because when you're really gone, she'll feel it. And there's a hell of a difference between you orbiting, still being in her world, and you actually detaching and moving on. And it will send her for a loop to know that you never blocked her. You never unfollowed her. You didn't even do anything. You just let her go. She expects some big fireworks, some big speech, some long text explaining your feelings. When she never gets one, she's going to wonder if she ever meant anything to you at all. And that is going to breed obsession. Your absence is going to create a sort of mirror that is going to reflect back at her in her decisions. But you shouldn't really want her back. And what I mean is the version of her that caused that breakup, any more than you want the version of you that let the breakup happen. What you need is yourself back, a stronger, more matured version of yourself that's willing to only take back a stronger, more matured version of her. And if you're watching videos like this, you've probably almost found him again. Final thoughts. No contact is not about getting her to reach out, although, yeah, it's the best chance you have. It's about you finally stopping the emotional chase. Because a man that respects himself doesn't need silence to be heard. His absence will speak volumes. So don't just be quiet. Don't just go no contact. Be completely gone, not out of anger, not out of spite, but out of growth, out of maturity, and out of strength. Lil bro, you've got this, and I've got you. I'll see you in the next one.